Hey there, thanks for checking out this video on how to go live and get clients. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips, some tricks, some ideas on how to do that confidently, how to go live and be able to share your genius in a way that connects you with your audience and helps you fill your calendar and be able to get new clients. So I'm just going to dive right in and get into it. Today might be a little bit of a quicker training, but we've got lots of resources and a little bit of a cool factor here today to show you how to go live. And if you're watching this video and underneath this video, there's likely a button or a link or an opt-in to get the resource guides. So you can do that to get our guides and the slides that I'm about to show you. And also underneath this video, there's usually a button to my calendar. So if at any point you're watching this, you're like, hey, this guy might be able to help me grow my health coaching business, and I want to explore that, then there's an invitation to hop on my calendar and we can do just that. All right, so let's get into it. I'll flip this around. Today's training is all about how to go live and get clients and how to quickly go live, create assets in a consistent way. All right. Oh, uno momento. There we go. It's working again. Okay, so this is one of the trainings, and I'll share this with you at the end, but the Avocado Method is our core program, and what we do here is we pull trainings and that we give to our clients, and we pull pieces of our program out and we give them away for free. These are kind of immediately actionable mini courses that you can take and help you grow your business long before you ever become a client of ours. So generosity is our growth strategy, and these kind of trainings are what's inside of our flagship program for our paying clients. So we're talking about how do you go live and get clients. Now, like, the cool thing about this is like the oldest way of growing a business. Like, this is the way. My backstory, I used to be in finance back in 2008 when it was literal fax machines. I mean, they probably still use fax machines. That industry is so ancient. But the way that we used to get clients was like, we would go do lunch and learns, or we would go do presentations, or you think back to like the very first infomercial, right? Like, being able to go live and just share, your product or your service, that has been like the oldest way since forever of how to get clients. And when you break it down, there's kind of 4 elements where there's, you got to pick a topic that's interesting that your ideal clients would actually want to learn about. You got to figure out how to fill the room, how to get people into your audience. Then you've got to present your topic and be able to convert or have them take the next step. Now, there's already a training inside of our free community that's called the Winning Mini Workshop. And in there, we talk about like how to pick a topic, how to do a workshop, how to fill a room. And today we're mostly just going to do a topic, a bit of a training on these 2 things: how to present in a way so you can show up confidently, and then how to get people to take the next step after your presentation or after when you're going live. If you're not already in our community, like, we have a free community in school, and that's where we house all of our trainings like this, and it is a quickly growing community, and I'm really loving it over there. It's off of the Facebooks, and you can find it on our website, soulfulsalescompany.com, or just like shoot me a message and I'll give you the link. It's free to join. Okay, so this is what we're talking about, right? How do we present and how do we convert? And before we go too deep, like, I want you to think about this. Like, these are digital assets. Every time you create a little training like this, it is a digital asset that you can create once and leverage forever, right? So and you can leverage and you can use it in tons of different ways. Just yesterday, I had a client asking like, "Hey, I'm trying to do this. I'm looking to do a presentation," and I was like, "Oh yeah, here's the training, here's the framework, here's the resource. Like there you go." And I don't have to have another coaching call, or I don't have to you can do it once and you can leverage it with your clients, but you can also leverage it with your marketing. And so the way I think about these is like every time I create an asset like this, like it's a digital asset, it's saving me a ton of time. Now the problems with creating these kinds of resources, or like what typically comes up, is there is a lack of confidence. So naturally, when you're going to go on camera, there's all the stuff that might get in the way, like self-doubt, imposter syndrome, nerves, sweaty palms. Like, man, I have done so many. I'm okay going live like in front of a camera now because I've just practiced it and I do it every day, and it's not a big deal. I can turn it on and go and have a lot more confidence now than I did when I was just starting. So, if you're just starting or you've never gone live before, it's like, be easy on yourself and just like practice. Well, we'll get into like what there is you can do to have more confidence, but this is like one of the problems, right? Is just a lack of confidence. Then there's also like a lack of coolness, right? If you're going to go live, there's, there's nothing worse than going live and being super boring, because like nobody really wants to watch that. And so we'll show you some of the cool tricks that we use where we can cut camera angles to keep you engaged a little bit. We can go over onto the iPad. You can draw a little bit. So we're gonna show you, how to bring some cool factor into your presentations. And then the third, problem with this is like there's often like people present these amazing presentations and then forget to invite people to take the next step. It's like the road that goes nowhere. And so we want to avoid that for sure. And these three, let's say challenges, lack of confidence, lack of coolness, and a lack of like a call to action to take the next steps, results in like just very ineffective, like even if you did go live, it wouldn't be effective. And so we don't want that for you. Instead, what we want is like, we want to help you develop a rock star level confidence. We want to show you like how to set the platform up right so that you can add a little flair to your presentations. And then lastly is like, make it simple and make it easy for people to take the next step. Okay, so like foreshadowing, at the end of this short training, I'm going to have an invitation for you, and I'll show you exactly what there is to do to take the next step in working with us. All right. So if we can do that, if we can help you develop a rock star level confidence, create a cool platform, and then be clear on like how to invite people to take the next step, what you're going to end up with is like simple content that converts. And when I say that converts, I mean where people show up on your calendar who want to work with you. Like going live is such it's one of the best ways to grow your business. Like I said, it's like the oldest way. It's the way that people have been growing their businesses since forever. Now it's online, maybe used to be in person, but it's about being able to speak to a room, speak to many people. Especially in the online world, there's a level of intimacy that you experience, like a level of realness when you go live. You might be watching this as a recording, in which case it's like there's that intimacy piece is missing. But I'm not editing this. It's raw, right? So you see the mistakes, you'll see all the flubs. In fact, somebody's knocking on the door right now, so I'm just going to pause for 1 sec. Oh, people are here to clean our air conditioning. Okay, great. Where was I? What was I saying? Just like, yeah, going live. Here it is. Like there's no edits. This is just raw. This is real life. This is what it is. And so it's there's like a level of intimacy that people get to experience when you go live and when you share like this. And so flip this around. This is what we want for you. This is why it works. And when we think about, so how do we do this, or what do we need? Confidence, some coolness, and an easy call to action. Okay, so this is what we're going to unpack a little bit here today. So when it comes to confidence, I mean, there's a couple things that you can do so that you can show up confidently on camera. Number one, just like taking a couple minutes before you go live to get present. I feel when I am present, I am a lot more confident. And so doing whatever you got to do to get into your flow, to get into your, to just show up and be present, that's going to help a ton. Second thing is showing up and being prepared, right? I'm not just go live and don't know what I'm going to say. I haven't scripted it. You'll notice my slides are literally just one picture, and then I'm going to talk about it, right? And so you as an expert in your field, you're already the expert. You know the stuff. And so you don't need to type everything out, and it doesn't need to be, a keynote presentation. That's not really going to work. It's just prepare for it. Think about what you want to say. What are the main points? And then let it rip. And, okay, so we got getting present, being prepared. And lastly, I want to show just a little bit of a framework that I think about. These are kind of the ways that help me to be able to show up confidently. So the first is doing the self-care work. So whether that's doing some breath work before I go live, or just whatever I got to do for myself to get present, to show up with the right energy, with the right vibe, so that I can be confident. The second one is get into a space of service, right? When you are focused on yourself, that's when things you start getting in your own head, the self-doubt creeps in, you start wondering about how I look or whatever, or how I sound. The way you get out of your own head is you just focus on the other people, focus on the people, focus on why you're doing this, focus on who you're trying to serve, right? I have specific people in my head who this is for. I'm creating this to be of service. And when I get present to that, I'm this is going to be so helpful for them. And hopefully for you watching this. Okay, so there's the self, there is serving, and then there is stories. Okay, so when I find it a lot easier to have confidence when I'm just telling stories. Right. Stories are also a very interesting, presentation skill. And I'll tell you a story in a quick minute in here. And lastly is being able to sell the last step. So, or knowing what it is you want to sell or you are going to sell. Okay. So how do you show up with confidence? It's do the work beforehand to get present and to prepare and to show up with the right energy, with the right vibe. Get focused on creating something that's truly going to be useful for other people. Focus on the benefits of them. Focus on service. Focus on others. When you can, think of going live as an opportunity to tell a story. Just thinking of the different times when I have needed to go live or be on. The very first time I can remember going live was actually a sales presentation, and I was so nervous, and it was so bad. It was so bad, and I actually got kicked out of the house that I was in. And then after that, my mentor at the time, he recorded me. He's like, okay, go through your sales presentation. And he recorded me, and I had to watch myself go live. And I was so embarrassed, and it was so cringy, and my hands were sweating, and it was just like really awkward to watch. But those awkward moments are like transformational, because you don't want to feel that way again. So you want to get better. And a big part of like developing confidence is just practice and being willing to be, not very good at something, and then be, committed to just becoming better, a better presenter, a better storyteller, right? And then being able to have confidence, or like have clarity on what it is you're selling and why you're like, what it is you're presenting on, and like how those things even go together. Okay, so these are the elements that I find, to help with giving you some confidence to show up with the right energy. Okay, second thing is like the tech stack. So I'm not going to spend too much time here. Instead, I'm just going to give you a resource. Okay, so this is, if you click this, this will give you every tool and resource that we use. And I will say this, okay? The coolness factor, like all of the tech stuff, doesn't matter. And when I say that, it's like I went live and got clients, and long before I had any of this tech stuff. And in fact, the tech stuff sometimes hurts, like more than it helps. And what I mean by that is it creates a level of like professionalism, which is good, but it also creates like a layer of like, how do you say this? Maybe like unreachable, or like almost like a filter. Like there's a layer of professionalism, and so sometimes that's harder to connect with. And that shows up like when you look at ads that perform the best are actually just like on your phone. No fanciness, just like go live on the phone, right? Like there's a place and a time for that. But I get asked more times than I know about, oh, how'd you do the cool thing with the flipping, and how are you drawing on your screen, and all that stuff. And I enjoy it, and it's something that I've invested, significant amount of money in too. And you don't need it. It's kind of like, more importantly is your confidence, and I would say like your clarity of what it is you're talking about, and who it is you're trying to help, and what's the point, what's the message. And then is like the coolness factor can kind of come up here. And this is where you're kind of setting the stage. And with just a couple tools, you can really up your game. And so these are all the different tools, like from the iPad to the Stream Deck to the camera we use to the mics to the lights and all the stuff. So if you want some inspiration, there's a list for you. And then the last thing is like the contextual call to action. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, it makes no sense to just create workshops out of nothing, like for the sake of marketing. Number one, it can be a big waste of time. And number two is it often just lacks the right context and the link between, like that image with the broken road right here, right? Like it's like you've got a presentation, but then you also have like, here's, the road that you want to guide people on to help them with whatever it is that you are helping them with, to get healthier, happier. For me, it's to help them grow their business. So the contextual call to action really comes back down to your offer. So I'm going to give you two things here. I'll give you an example. So for us, like our program is called the Avocado Method. Okay. It is an acronym for like the journey that we take people on. Our program is 16 weeks, and each of these steps is a letter of the avocado. So let me change this here. Okay, so like authority, value, opt-in. I won't explain what they all are, but I will explain this one, content. Content is a vital piece of helping our clients go from like 0 to being able to do 30K a month. You need all of these pieces, but one of the pieces that you need is content. And one of the best types of content that you can create is like being able to go live or do workshops like this for a whole bunch of reasons. And so what I'm sharing with you today is like this one little piece of a bigger solution. Because if you're interested in going live, if you're watching this, then chances are you're probably interested in actually building a full business. And the reality is even if you apply this and you go live, this is just one piece of the bigger puzzle of growing a business. And understanding like where this piece fits into the bigger puzzle and how to fit this in is vitally important. And so, here, this is the training. And then if you wanted to figure out like a game plan or a strategy for yourself, or like which kind of workshop you could do, or if you went live, like what's the right topic for you based on what your offer is, then you can hop on a call and we can map that out. I'd be happy to. And inside of doing that, what happens is like you're giving context to the content that you're delivering. And we do this with everything. So every lead magnet that we give away, every training that we do fits somewhere inside of our offer. You'll never hear me really talking about anything other than these 9 things, or like pieces within these 9 things. Because these are the elements that we know when you implement will help you grow your business and be able to add an extra $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. Okay, so that is what I mean by like a contextual call to action. The call to action is, hey, would you like some help developing a workshop, and also understanding like where it fits into the bigger puzzle for you of building your business? If so, there's a link underneath this video. Okay, it's pretty clear, like that's the next step. So that's an example. And then this is a worksheet. So when I was creating this, all I did is I took this 1-page worksheet. It took me about 15, 20 minutes. And I just thought about, well, what's the topic? What's the title going to be? And what's the promise? And in a lot of cases, the promise and the title are the same thing. And I say, why is this important? What is the hook? And what's the metaphor, right? So I'm looking at rock star metaphors, going live, getting that confidence, right? Why is this important? Intimacy, authenticity. What's the hook? Go live, get clients. It's also the title and the promise. The 3 things that I want to talk about are confidence, is coolness, and I want to talk about call to actions, right? There's other elements, but those are the 3 that I can talk about. And then I think about what's the transformation? How do I help you from going from insecure to confident? How do I help you go from like creating lame presentations to cool presentations? And how do I help you have a better call to action at the end? Right? So I think about these things, and then I give resources away to help with that. What are the tools that I can give away? What are the steps that I want you to take? And what's the next action? And this is just like, this is it. This is my, I'll do this for content. I'll do this for workshops. This 1-page, this is called the format process. Like why, what, how, now. If you can answer those questions, it's a great post. It's a great training. It's a great course. And so this is just a simple 1-page worksheet that we use to do that. All right. So that is the training. Just to quickly recap, like all of this thing, if you have this prepared, right, if you have a 1-page thing like this, guess what you're going to have? More confidence, right? If you have a really good offer and you're just taking pieces, you're breaking pieces of your offer apart, like we are right here, like we teach a ton about how to create great content, and then we give pieces of it away for free, then whenever you're giving it away for free, you're able to show, like, here's where it fits into the bigger picture, the bigger context of what it is you're probably trying to do. And that's the contextual CTA. Here's like a list of some cool tech stuff that we use. Focus on the self, focus on serving, bring storytelling into the mix when you can, and be clear on like what it is you want to sell. That's going to give you all the confidence that you need in the world. So like I said, our program is the Avocado Method. If you haven't heard about it yet, you can find information on our website. But what we're up to, like all day, every day, is helping our clients to attract, nurture, and convert clients for their business. We do that by helping them solve the 3 big problems that plague most health coaches and online professionals. Is they have generic offers or undercharging. They don't understand lead flow or how to get where their next client's going to come from. And then they don't have the money-making skills like copywriting, content marketing, sales, appointment setting, that kind of stuff. And so what we want more people being able to live life on their terms with deeper meaning, more freedom, and more money. And that's what we are up to. We do that through our program, the Avocado Method. I'll skim through that. And at the bottom of this, there is a link to the calendar. So you can either click this if you downloaded it, or underneath this video, there's probably a link to hop on a call with myself as well. So I hope you got a couple tips, some ideas, found this useful, helpful. And yeah, if you would like help growing your business, getting more clients, calls, cash flow into your business, then I invite you to book a call. And especially if going live and doing presentations is in the mix within your business, then our program would work really well for you. So thank you. Have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.